As I promised you guys a month ago, we have been tracking the television ratings for the NBA playoffs. And there's a reason that I'm doing this. When it comes to the NBA's television ratings, you're just not going to get the whole truth from the woke sports media. If you Google NBA playoff ratings 2021, this is what you're going to find. These are going to be the headlines. NBA playoff ratings up across the board in the first round. NBA playoffs ratings make big jump. NBA playoffs see massive increase in viewership. All of this is just fluff from the woke sports media. Like I told you guys the other day, the media, they will take a tiny morsel of the truth and they will spin it to fit their narrative. Because the NBA is the wokest league in the country, and we already know how woke the media is, they will spin a kernel of truth to make it look like everything is going great for the NBA. The NBA is back. The NBA is once again popular in the mainstream. It's just not true. Once again, I'm going to show you guys what is really going on with the ratings for the NBA playoffs. I have the full ratings report for the first round, some of the second round. I'm going to give you the full story. The media, they're not completely lying to you. They're just not giving you the whole truth. Are NBA ratings up for the playoffs? Well, in comparison to 2020, yes, in some cases they are, but that's like comparing a Rolls Royce to a Dodge Dart. Ratings in 2020 were god-awful. Last year, you had playoff games tipping off at noon on a Wednesday. It was the lowest point in the history of the NBA. When I look at the television ratings for the playoffs this year in the NBA, there's one thing that jumps out to me. The die-hard NBA fans that refused to watch last year, for whatever reason, whether they were turned off by the woke politics or they found it difficult to watch in the bubble with no crowd, whatever the reason was, the die-hard NBA fans that didn't watch last year in the playoffs are watching this year. That much is true. But what about the casual fan? The casual fan, the fan that doesn't really watch during the regular season but comes around for the playoffs. The casual fan is what really counts. That's the audience the NBA is after. When you look at these ratings, it is abundantly clear the casual fan has not returned. Once round one of the playoffs finished up, the woke sports media ran with this narrative that playoff ratings are the highest that they've been in 3 years. The problem is, that is a false narrative. When you compare the ratings for the first round this year to the ratings in 2019, the NBA is down. They are clearly down. And you have to remember, playoff ratings in 2019 saw a massive decline from previous years. They were ringing the alarm bells 2 years ago because ratings for the playoffs were so bad. That year, the media blamed the fact that LeBron James missed the cut. Well, what the hell is the excuse this year? You can't blame the COVID. You can't blame the lack of crowds. The NBA and the media, they have no excuse for the low ratings in the playoffs this year. The NBA hit the jackpot this season. Damn near every major star in the league made the playoffs or the play-in tournament. The big 5 teams in the Northeast, the most populated part of the country, all made the playoffs. Knicks, Nets, Sixers, Celtics, Wizards, all in the playoffs. Plus, you had the Lakers and the Warriors in the play-in tournament out west. The NBA caught lightning in a bottle. There's no way that ratings could go anywhere but up. Yet, they are still down several thousand when compared to 2019. Basically, the ratings are flat. But when you dig a bit deeper, you'll find that the ratings are not flat. They are significantly down. This season, the NBA is including viewership at bars, restaurants, airports, hospitals. Basically, any out-of-home viewership is counted towards their television ratings. Ratings weren't tallied like that in the past. If you remove the out-of-home viewership numbers, ratings for the NBA playoffs are down anywhere from 7 to 11%. But you won't hear that from the woke sports media. No, they never let the facts get in the way of pumping out a false narrative. Plus, when you consider the fact that in 2019, only 3 of the 5 teams in the Northeast made the playoffs, the ratings for this year, they look even worse. The lightning in a bottle that the league caught, they were gifted early in the first round, immediately evaporated. The Warriors eliminated in the play-in tournament. Both the Lakers and the Knicks, out. Celtics, gone. Which has left the NBA with a dismal second round, which is showing in their television ratings. Game 2 earlier this week, Nuggets Suns, drew 3.5 million people, down 24% compared to 2019. In the span of 2 years, the NBA lost over 1 million viewers. You see why I say the casual fan hasn't returned? It's not going to get any better for the NBA going forward either. In the second round in 2019, we had the rematch between the Warriors and the Rockets. That series went 6 games, averaged over 7 million viewers a game. The NBA is not coming close to that number right now. Game 1 in that Warriors-Rockets series back in 2019, 7.3 million. Game 1 this year, Sixers-Hawks, 3.4 million. A 47% decline. And I don't need to tell you guys how many viewers the NBA lost. You guys are smart. You can do the math. As of right now, not one playoff game in the second round has come even close to approaching just 4 million people. Last year at this point, now remember, last year, ratings for the playoffs were the worst in the history of the league. By this point last year in the second round, the NBA already had 2 games draw over 4 million viewers. And last year, they were competing with the NFL, the playoffs in Major League Baseball, college football. This year, the NBA is running unopposed, and ratings are still down double digits. We thought ratings couldn't get worse back in 2019. Then we thought they couldn't get worse last year in 2020. And now in 2021, the ratings are still declining. So, how come we are not hearing any of this from the woke sports media? I had to find this information from the Sports Business Journal. When NFL ratings were on the decline back in 2016, ESPN was talking about it every day. So why is that not the case with the NBA? I mean, the NBA's ratings are down. How come ESPN isn't talking about it? I believe part of the reason is because the NBA is ESPN's primary league. The NFL, they give them 1 game a week, Monday Night Football. ESPN, they broadcast some Major League Baseball, but no one really cares about that. ESPN doesn't want the audience to think that the NBA is in decline. You have to remember, going into this season, the NBA had already lost 45% of the audience from their peak back in 2011 and 2012. We are seeing double-digit declines from the double-digit decline coming into the season. All of this is happening at the worst time for the NBA because they are bleeding money. Right now, the NBA's debt to revenue ratio is 3x, meaning the league's debt that they're holding is 3 times the amount of the revenue that they're bringing in. That is the highest debt to revenue ratio of any major sports league in the country. So while the media want to paint this picture that the NBA is back, that's just not the case. It's not true. The diehard NBA fan is back. The casual NBA fan, they're still not sure. They still have their back turned to the league. I don't see ratings improving this going forward for the playoffs either. I really don't. We're going to continue to do the media's job, and we're going to continue to monitor the ratings for the NBA playoffs here on the channel. But it's time to let me know what you think. Are you surprised that ratings for the NBA playoffs are still in decline? And do you think ratings will improve going forward, or could we see further declines as we approach the conference finals? Also, why do you think that the ratings for the NBA continue to go down? Sound off in the comments below. Let me know what you're thinking. Make sure to like and subscribe. Click the notification bell to receive all notifications from the channel. Best way to contact me is by email at btlkc84@gmail.com, KC_BTL84 on Twitter. I'll see you guys tomorrow.